so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you so much. I say you are highly welcome. Please, as you join, kindly share the broadcast as you join. Iheme Brighto, thank you so much for joining, Brighto. I appreciate you. Everyone that have connected, those that mentioned their name, those that didn't mention their name, those who are commenting, those that are not commenting, I appreciate every one of you that is watching wherever you are watching from. Thank you so much for joining. We have come once again to do what we know how to do, to encourage Biafran people and to continue to set the record straight and speak up for the situation that we find ourselves in. I appreciate every one of you that has spent their time to join. Please, as you join the broadcast, kindly share. Chika, okay, thank you so much for joining, Chika, okay. I appreciate you so much for joining. Please, as you join, share the broadcast in your platform. Share the broadcast in any WhatsApp group that you belong. Share the broadcast to your friends and family. Share the broadcast to any person you can be able to reach. That is what we do for ourselves. You know that Facebook cannot be able to promote our broadcast nor send a notification to those who are supposed to watch. It is by your sharing and by your reaching out, that is how we can be able to alert more people to join us on this very broadcast. So it is very important that you embark on that radical evangelism by sharing and reaching out to every other person. Sandra, thank you so much for joining. Sandra, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sandra. I appreciate you for joining and for sharing. Thank you for joining. So today we have come today, as usual, to encourage fellow Biafrans, as we always do. You know that the platform where you are watching today is an auto-piloted platform. Onye Oma Wachineke. Thank you so much for joining. Onye Oma Wachineke. May Chukwu Abiyama continue to bless you. So, what we do on this platform is to set the record straight. And as you all know, for those who are coming here for the very first time, this is an auto-piloted platform under the new Biafra Republic government in exile, with our new Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Epa, and on the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is where we stand on this platform. We don't come here to preach blackmail. Asorock, thank you so much for joining. Asorock Machinemeze, thank you so much for joining. We don't come here to preach against anybody. We don't come here to attack people. We don't come here to preach blackmail or propaganda. We don't come here to talk against anyone. Clement Aneto, thank you for joining. We don't come here to preach lies or to preach hatred. What we come here is to share love and also to speak to our people, the Biafran people that have been oppressed. We come here to encourage each other. We come here to inspire each other. We come here to bring out points on what we should do that we are not doing. We come here to debunk lies that have been told against us as Biafrans, against our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, against the struggle. That is what we do here every time we come online. We don't come here to preach anything apart from peace, love. Biri kambiri, live and let's live. That is what we are asking for. And as usual, today, we have gathered once again to demand for the freedom of our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the major thing on the table today. We are here to demand for the unconditional release of our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a
name that rings bell in every heart. That is a name that rings bell in every mind. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter where you belong. It doesn't matter your country. As long as you're on the media, on social media more especially, you must have known about our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the prisoner of conscience today in Nigeria. Our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has given it all for you and for me, for the black race and for humanity. Everything he has been talking about and speaking about is for humanity. To save the black race, not only for his own tribe, the Igbo people, not only for the Biafran people, not only for the indigenous tribe in that contraption called Nigeria, not only for the black race, for the whole world, for humanity as a whole. Today, he is a prisoner of conscience. Every one of us knows why he's been detained in Nigeria today. The only reason why they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya is because he was asking for what is right. He was asking for what is right. Our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has not committed any crime known to man. Everyone can testify to that. Even the court of our enemy testify to that. But because there are some forces elsewhere that don't want his people to be free, there are forces somewhere, somehow, that have gathered together and they want to subjugate people and make sure that they keep people in perpetual slavery. These forces have gathered together and they continue to preach against our supreme leader. After making their preachings and talking against him, it didn't work. They went ahead to kidnap him in Kenya through the help of some people who have sold their soul to the enemies. People who could not be able to live above their envy and jealousy. People who could not overcome their love for money. They sold our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he was kidnapped in Kenya, tortured for good 8 days. 8 good days he was tortured in Kenya. And by the special grace of Chukwu, he never permitted them to take his life. Chukwu preserved him through all the trials in Kenya, and he was extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. Anybody that is watching me, wherever you are watching from, I want you to know that extraordinary rendition itself is a crime against humanity. It is a crime against humanity. I want you to know that extraordinary rendition itself is a crime against humanity. International law is against extraordinary rendition. African Chartered law is against extraordinary rendition. The contraption called Nigeria signed up to the UN treaty, which forbids extraordinary rendition. These are established facts that you cannot deny. But because the forces that want to hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu down, the forces that want to keep the Biafrans in perpetual slavery, they have all the connections. They have all the connections. They are so wicked and daft that they damn all consequence. And today, they have been able to convince so many other people, more especially the media. They have hijacked all the conventional media that today the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not making a headline, except for the autopiloted IPOB that is standing today, the Biafran people that are standing today, speaking day in, day out, mounting pressure on Nigeria to make sure that our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released. If not for that, they have bought everybody that can be bought. They have settled everybody that can be settled, both in social media and in conventional media. That is why the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not handled the way it's supposed to be. Remember, I told you, not that I told you, the fact is that extraordinary rendition is against international law. And we have seen in a case where this same late Muhammadu Buhari participated in extraordinary rendition in the UK. He did not succeed. When he went to extraordinary rendition, Umar Diko. Umar Diko is a Nigerian with Nigerian passport. He's not a British citizen. But he went to British to hide himself for whatever crime he has committed. And this same Muhammadu Buhari went to Britain to kidnap him and to extraordinary rendition him to Nigeria. They were busted. They did not succeed. But because of that attempt they made, even though they didn't succeed, every single soul that participated in that very action was punished. Every single ear that heard about that plan was punished. The airline that was supposed to use the extraordinary rendition Omar Diko was grounded. In the UK, people who was involved went to jail because of that. We are talking about somebody who is a Nigerian, is not a citizen. That's to show you how serious the issue of extraordinary rendition is. And within that period, Nigeria incurred sanction from the UK. But why is it that in the time that we are in now, a British citizen was kidnapped in the UK with British passport? He traveled legally. He was stamped in to Kenya. He didn't travel with Nigerian passport. He traveled with UK passport to Kenya. He was kidnapped. Not only kidnapped, tortured for 8 days, and then extraordinary rendition to Nigeria successfully. And British was aware of it. This very extraordinary rendition succeeded. And up to now, the British is not doing anything about it. Nobody was given sanction. Nobody was given sanction. Nobody was punished for 2 years, more than 2 years now. Ask me why. The only reason why the British is keeping a deaf ear to the situation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is because it doesn't satisfy their interest. It doesn't benefit them. And that is why I tell you that the world is about interest. Anything you see these world powers and the world supporting, it is something that is for their own interest. They will never support anything that is for your own interest. The kidnap of Omar Diko, the kidnap and attempted extraordinary rendition of Omar Diko affected UK because the money that Omar Diko stole was in UK, and the money is going to boost their economy. It is for their own benefit. And I guess that was why they stood up and fought for him and kept him there. But their own citizen, who is now fighting for his own people to be liberated and walk out of slavery, was kidnapped. They keep a deaf ear. They pretend they didn't see what was happening. They pretend they have not heard. Because whatever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is pursuing is not for the interest of the British. It is for the interest of his own people, the ordinary people, the black race. They have refused to speak for him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinary edition taken to Nigeria. For more than 2 years, they left him in the DSS. Court have given order several times to allow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to have access to his praying materials, his glasses, his lawyers, and even food. But these vital things have been denied Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the world is hearing, the world is seeing, but they are saying nothing. Our spirit of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu continue to cry out about the condition of the place they kept him. His health is deteriorating. Allow him to see the doctor, they would allow him. At a stage, the lawyers were even asking to take him to correctional center, take him to prison, Kuje prison, so that he can be able to have access to his own doctors. He refused. And up to today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in their net. It got to a stage that they began to plan on how to infect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That was why our alarm was raised when they brought people that had tuberculosis to the area where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was detained. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cried out. All was to make sure that they infect him. But Chukwu Kukabiyama have it. Just as they have always failed. They fail and they will never succeed. I am telling you all these stories to let you know why we are heading where we are heading today. I'm just refreshing your memory to remind you where we are coming from and why we have to do what we have to do, why we have to take the actions we are taking today. Even after all the illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the kidnap and the extradition, the court of the enemy, the court of the same people that kidnapped him, came together and they said, let him go. He is free. That is not the court of the Biafran people. The judges were not even Biafrans. 3 judges unanimously said, let him go. He is innocent. And yet, they have refused to let him go. They have refused to let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu go. And the Biafrans have been crying, shouting, talking and talking, calling for his release. Nobody seems to pay attention. Our politicians sometimes reluctantly they make their own statement and say, let him go. But every one of us know that there is no seriousness in their statements. I personally, I do not see any seriousness in the call that the politicians are making for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I didn't see any seriousness. When Soludo made his call, we supported him, we applauded him, but did he follow up? He never followed up. He never followed up, just as they always do. Today, we are seeing Iwanyanwu, the new president of Ohaneze Ndigbo, coming to demand for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We applauded him. At least he has the courage to mention him as one of the things he was talking about in his first step. But when you look at the substance of that his word, I don't see any strength in it. I'm telling you about my own opinion, my personal opinion. The demand that the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, the new president Iwanyanwu made, that his demand doesn't have weight. It doesn't have weight. This is my own opinion. I'm telling you about my own opinion. I don't see any weight in it. Because when I listened to the interview he was granted in Arise Television, the way he was talking about the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the way he was praising the late Muhammad Buhari, showering praises on him, I try to read meaning into all that. When you put everything that he has said in that very interview together, you finally realize that the Biafrans are in a deep shit. More especially the Igbo Biafran, we are in a deep shit. And these are the kinds of things that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, why he was with us, when he watched those interviews, he will be crying and say, are there no more men in Biafra land? Are there no more men who can speak like men? Are there no more men who can speak with authority, fearlessly? It is sad. But after seeing all these things that is happening, if you can tell yourself the truth, you will now come to realize that your fate lies in your own hand. You will realize that the fate of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu lies in my hand, lies in your hand. That is where the IPOB comes in. That is where the Biafra Republic government in exile comes in. That is where our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, comes in. Our Prime Minister and spokesperson of Biafra, from the moment